Welcome to the Blow Your Mind podcast. If you're trying to figure out who you are, where you're headed, or how to trust yourself in the middle of it all, this show is for you. I'm Erica Sinner. I grew up in a trailer park on food stamps, and I went on to build a multi-8-figure award-winning company without a safety net and without pretending it was easy. I'm now a CEO, a best-selling author, and a philanthropist. And what I've learned is this: real confidence isn't a feeling. It's self-trust built through evidence. This is a place for real conversations. You'll hear from me and occasionally my husband, Chris, as we talk honestly about real life and the standards and decisions that separate talk from results. Let's blow your mind. 11 rounds of layoffs. Yeah, lived through that. It was a tough time. Every single layoff was different than the last. Some were HR was walking around with these yellow envelopes, and you knew if you got stopped with a yellow envelope, like you were on the list to be let go. And another one, we had all been called to an all-company meeting, and then we were told on your desk, in your chair, there's a card that has a time. And depending on that time, we want you to show up tomorrow, and you'll find out if you have a job or not. But in the meantime, we do want everyone to clear their desks as if they've been let go and take everything home. Which was also crazy, right? You know, my team and I, we were looking at all the times, and you start to figure out like, oh my gosh, there's a group of us that are in the morning. There's a group of us in the afternoon. What does that mean? And we cleared off our desk. We took everything home. I was terrified at losing my job. I had poured blood, sweat, and tears into this role. But I knew that the industry I was in, this is how it worked. It's all about mergers, acquisitions, divestitures. It's about your P&L. It's about what shareholders want. At the same time, you're really believing in the brands that you're working on and bringing them to market and bringing them to the patients that need them the most. And so I was feeling really conflicted. It just like, gosh, I had done such a good job, and would I have a job throughout these layoffs? I came to work that next day. I brought my badge in. I was 10:30, and I put it in front. It's my boss. It's HR. And they're like, you have a job. It kind of felt like American Idol, but like in the worst way. And so I was like, oh my gosh, okay, like, thank you. And they're like, you can go upstairs. And so I walked upstairs to be met by the other employees that had been in there in the morning. And they all still had their jobs. And we were told we needed to stay until the afternoon for like an all hands meeting afterwards. And that was also hard because now you're watching all of the other employees who were at 1:30, 2, and you saw them lose their jobs, you saw them leave, and they all ended up going to a bar by the office. We all were at the office waiting to be told, like, what is next? Like, how many more of these are we going through? And that wasn't the last one. And I think people try to do their best. I think the reason they changed it and tried so many different ways was because they were getting so much feedback after each one. But the next one wasn't any better. The next one was we were told to go to different ballrooms, different hotels. And we just thought, well, it's because we're still a big company. We couldn't fit into one. There's a lot going on. I don't know. And you get there, and I'll never forget it. The CEO, I mean, he was sweating. He looked uncomfortable. And that's when he shared, he said, everyone in this room still has their job, but everyone who went to the other room just lost their job. So you might want to reach out to them. And then he turned the corner to say, like, but here's the charge, here's the mission, here's what we're trying to do. Let's think about the patients that we're trying to serve. And it was really hard. I think about those times, and I think about why I built my company, Directorie. And it really was anchored in this idea that, like, I just don't know how it's fair to ask people to give up their nights and weekends, to work really hard, to, demand excellence and high standards, and then them not feel like, well, gosh, if I don't do a good job, or even if I do a good job, will I have a job, depending on what happens with the products, depending on what happens with FDA approval. And that is the reason I built Directorie. I felt like there was a different way to do it. I felt like if we had enough diversity, enough brands, that then it would be okay if something was delayed on one end, if another company got acquired, because we had other companies. And so I could make that commitment to my employees to say, like, if you do a good job, you're going to have a job. And tell the truth about culture, right? Like, we have high standards. We have high quality. We're working in a highly regulated industry, but also we realize that you're human and not robots. And so we pay for insurance. We have pet bereavement leave, right? We recognize when things outside of work happen to our employees, they're going to affect them at work because we are human. And for that to not be understood has always just been so confusing for me. And so it feels amazing to say, like, I'm going to build a culture that I want. I'm going to do it in my way. And really, I'm so proud to be able to say, like, yeah, we're doing it. Like, we have a really great culture today at Directorie, and we're also a 2-time Inc. 5000 company honoree, which means we have like triple digit growth over like a rolling 3 years. Like, to make that list and to make it 2 years in a row, like, it's just proof that it is possible, that you can have the high standards and really care about your people. And that comes with, trust within the team. Play at work, I think, creates a lot of trust. And having fun together, wanting to work together, wanting to be in the same room, I think matters. And so we're a fully virtual company, but we have a lot of time and attention on communication, on how we email each other, how we Slack each other, how our leaders show up in Slack, how we're checking our notifications. But we also took the time to like painstakingly map out all of the times that our teams are together. And it's called Moments That Matter, is this document, because they really are the moments that matter in your team. It's when you're either meeting with your clients, or you're debriefing, or you're preparing for a meeting, or you're coming together as a full team. And I think a lot of people would say, like, gosh, like, do you really need to be like that structured, that formatted in all of the things that you do? But creating that type of clarity for our employees, Brene Brown says it best, like, clear is kind. And when somebody knows, oh, these are the moments that I'm going to get to talk to my boss, or I'm going to be together with my team, or I'm going to get to see everyone, or I'll have a debrief session to ask questions that maybe I didn't understand on that client meeting. That's what this document does. It truly outlines all of our external meetings with our clients, all of our internal meetings, and also like all the finance meetings that are happening, all of the leadership team meetings. When do our directors get together? And it doesn't just tell you what meetings are happening, but it also has who's invited to those meetings, what are the objectives in those, who schedules them so that they don't fall off the calendar, and guidance around them. Like, for example, one-on-ones are non-negotiable. They have to happen. And in my corporate world, that was always the meeting that got canceled first. And that always signals to your employee, like, I don't have time for you. I've got more important things. Or when a boss emails our employee and it's like, do you really need the one-on-one this week? Like, you can feel it without saying it, right? Like, and you don't know if they might have been coming to you to say, like, hey, my dog is sick and I'm having a really hard time at home, or I'm trying to balance things, or my elderly parent is sick and I would like to stop by before going to work, so I might be late, but I'm working later. Like, those are those moments to check in around how are they doing? How was their weekend? We ask questions like, tell me something awesome that happened last week, because you might not know. And I think it's hard for any of us to brag about the things that we are doing or to celebrate the things that we do. And so when you have a team, like, when are the opportunities for them to say to you or signal to you, like, hey, I took care of this thing you might not even know about, but I'm super proud of it. And now you as a manager know those things. But we also ask, like, what was something super frustrating that happened last week? And like, I had an employee tell me one time, like, oh my God, it was Tuesday and my computer kept crashing and I kept calling IT and we ended up fixing it. But like, that was super annoying. And they weren't even trying to like, they were just answering the question, what was something super frustrating that happened last week? And it turns out, like, her laptop is like 4 years old. Like, this girl needed a new laptop and it changed the game for her. Like, and as an employee, again, like, it's those moments that you wouldn't have known these things had you not spent the time to like ask questions, get to know them, have times that weren't just about work or like, okay, give me the rundown on all of the things. It's just like a moment to connect human to human. As I really do believe culture is how your employees feel on Sunday night. It's not what they tell you. It's not what the surveys are. It's like, how are they feeling before they come into work? If you have a Monday through Friday kind of role, that matters. Like, it really matters. It's how they show up. It's how we all show up. And at my company, like, we have our high standards and we have like FDA approval weeks. Like, everybody just knows it's like heads down, lock in. It's about to be crazy because you're about to review all of the materials you've been putting together for the last year, all of the clinical data into marketing materials that turn into claims, that turn into commercials, that turn into brochures, and then you're printing them and you're getting approved by medical, legal, regulatory. It is a crazy time. But then the summers, like, that's brand planning time. That's where we're dreaming with our clients. We're figuring out what are we going to do next year. And they're just slower. Spring is slower. Fall starts to pick up again with the conferences. But on those slower times, like, I talk to all of my managers around like, hey, if you just had like a crazy push through Q1 and now we are in the spring and it is a little slower, or your client is just on a different wave than maybe another client team is going, and you've met in a one-on-one and you know your employee has her daughter's soccer game that she would love to go to, like tell her it's like 4 p.m. sneak out. Like go be at your daughter's game, go be at your son's practice, go take your dog on a walk, or like leave today and just go get your nails done. Like take care of yourself. We just like push through so much, like take some time. And I think those are the things that show your employees, wow, they're really thinking about me and they're showing up for me. And beyond like I think it's those everyday little moments where you're like really taking the pulse on your team, but then also having the big foundational things like pet bereavement leave, or like we have maternity and paternity leave and adoptive leave. When you can show for your employees in moments that really matter to them, they will show up more for you. Like I know people say like this new generation doesn't want to work, or employers don't care anymore, or like where does it end? I think we just have to take it back to basics and like common sense. Like, I don't know, you care for somebody else, they'll care back for you and they'll show up for you. And I also feel like we're so transparent about who we are, what our culture is, what our standards are. And I talk a lot about it to my team where it's like, we are a team, we're not a family. Families can cross boundaries. Teams, like everybody is in it to win it together. And that also goes for somebody who's not pulling their weight, right? I think the best way to demotivate your highest star performer is to let one that's not performing continue, because now they're cleaning up the mess. Now they're like, oh, well, if they can do it, I must do it too. I don't know why I care so much. And now everyone starts to come down, which I think I just read something about that said like who you hang around with is who you become. So it's really important for me, like we have like a no asshole policy in terms of like, you could be my highest biller, but if you're a jerk, like you're out of here. And also like, if you're not delivering on results, like if you're not caring about proofing your own work before it goes to your coworker and now they're having to pick up the mess, or they're dealing with the client, or they're like, you're not caring and loving on your team. One of our 10 core attributes is love, and it's in communication and quality and all of that. So values, clarity around what expectations are, it all matters, because then people can truly self-select out if this isn't the culture they want to be in. And the sooner you know that, it is such a gift. Like it truly is such a gift. And then everyone who's left on the team is the people who really want to be here. And they're like, yeah, we're all doing it. We live for the crazy weeks. And then we also live for the times when we get to be off work or actually take vacation or work as a team and have a good time together. At our annual meetings, we have a whole, we plan a lot of fun throughout the whole week, but then we have like a half day where we do adventures. This last one, we let people pick. So they could either go glass blowing or zip lining. I did not go zip lining. They could do like a barbecue tour, and we think about everything too. Like, do we want people to, who wants to be active, who wants to be eating good food, who wants to do something cool that they get to take home? But it takes intentionality at the highest level to then push that down to your managers, to your leaders. And also I talk to my employees a lot. We're all leaders. We all have a role to contribute here to the team that you've decided to be on. And then you can do really amazing things, which sometimes are going to require hard weeks. And sometimes, let them be human. And sometimes when life happens, be there for them because they are human. And so, my mind blown moment today is that culture doesn't just happen. You don't just say like, I want to build a good company. It's led by a woman. So like hope for the best. No, it's built through systems, through process, through real conversations with your leaders, with your team, with what you say in the team, with what you allow to go by. Like an easy thing for us was one of my leaders, I would send an email and I was like, hey, I need to hear back. Like I'm on it. And I'll get it back to you by a certain day. He wouldn't email me back at all. And he's like, why don't you just trust that if you email me that I got it? And I'm like, what if it goes into spam? What if you didn't see the email? What if you accidentally deleted it? Now I'm waiting. Like, I just need acknowledgement. And so we have an in-house performance coach that talks a lot about curiosity, acknowledgement of things. And that acknowledgement is so important, and that communication is so important. And so the challenge I have for you this week, and I don't think this is a promise to keep to yourself or anything that is truly mind-blowing, but it actually might blow your mind with what you find, is audit one norm on your team. So if you have your own company, think about, what comes up for you, or are your teams having one-on-ones? How do you take a culture pulse check within your own organization? How have your own one-on-ones gone with your own team? If you don't own your own company and you're in a company, have you had a one-on-one with your boss lately? Have you ever been brave enough to share hey, here's what happened with me on the weekend, what happened with yours? Get to know each other as people. And even if it's not your boss, your team, your coworkers, the people that you are spending so much time with at work, get to know them as people because you're on the same mission and you're building something together. And I hope this episode for you gave you a light bulb moment of I might reach out. So I can't wait to hear. DM me if you do. And I can't wait to see you next time. Thanks for listening to the Blow Your Mind podcast. If something you heard today stayed with you, that's your cue. Apply one idea. Keep one promise to yourself this week because that's how you blow your mind. If this helped you build proof, shift your identity, or have an aha moment, share your receipts on Instagram and tag me at Erica_Sinner. Leave a review wherever you're listening so more people can find this work and blow their minds too. I'll see you next time.